So good evening, everybody. Hope you're all having a wonderful Friday. Still not allowed out quite. Well, we're allowed out, but we're not allowed out in groups until Monday. So yeah, it's the last weekend before we're allowed to go and have barbecues with our friends and family and stuff like that. Can't wait, man. It's going to be sick. But we've got some, well, I would say it's bad news, but on the grand scheme of things, it's not actually bad news. But before I get into Mkhitaryan, not literally, come on. All right, but before I get into talking about Mkhitaryan, I will be doing a watch along for Freiburg against Leverkusen this evening. Make sure you do download HOTMIC. The link is in the description. It is free of charge. We're about 6-7 people away from 300 on that, so that is absolutely quality. Thank you to everyone who's done it. Do use my code. That helps me. I do appreciate that. And then go and follow me on the platform. So download it, use the code, then follow me. And then I'll be on there at about 7:15 this evening. So yeah, big up everybody who joined in on the FIFA career mode earlier on the gaming channel. That link's in the description as well. We're in the Europa League semi, which is kind of cool. And we're a point off fourth with about 4 or 5 games to go. So yeah, all to play for on career mode. Big up everybody watching on Facebook as well. I can see your comments. Let me get through what I'm saying and I'll come back to some comments. But we're going to start speaking about Mkhitaryan. Now, Mkhitaryan's agent is Mino Raiola, as we know. He brokered the deal for Mkhitaryan to come to the Emirates for the Alexis swap, as we also know. Now, he's on loan at Roma. They want to keep him. We don't want Mickey. We want to get rid. The problem we have is Mkhitaryan has a year left on his contract as of June the 30th this year. So if we let him go back on loan, he does the year. He's then a free agent. He can then join Roma for nothing. So Mino Raiola, the super agent. I love how they call him super agents. You mean you just rip people off every single year? That's what you're doing. Just mugging football clubs off. In his wisdom, he is convincing Arsenal, and from the reports I've just read that are in Italian press, he's pretty much kind of convinced them, all bar the shouting and the signatures, to renew Mkhitaryan's contract for 1 more year, then loan him to Roma for a year with an obligation to buy him at the end of that. In return, Arsenal, again, Mino Raiola represents Justin Kluivert. Mino Raiola will then bring Justin Kluivert to the Emirates, to Arsenal, as a loan swap for now, and we both have the obligation to buy him at the end of the contract. So we get Justin Kluivert, they get Mkhitaryan, but we have to renew Mkhitaryan's contract. Roma then have the obligation to buy him at the end, as do we with Justin Kluivert. When I read this a couple of days back, maybe a week or so ago when I first read it, I was like, okay, whatever. Now I've read that is being printed in Italian press that it's an obligation to buy, not an option to buy. If we both activate that and that happens, Roma then have to buy him at the end of that contract, which again will be peanuts. It'll be about 10 million quid at the end of it. We will have an option or an obligation, to buy Justin Kluivert at the end of it. For me, that's an absolute no-brainer. Go and get it done. Go and get that deal done as soon as possible. Sign Mickey up again. Get Justin Kluivert in return. In a year's time, we bin Mkhitaryan off. We put that money towards Justin Kluivert, and we might have to pay a few quid because Justin Kluivert is younger. He's on a longer contract than Mickey, etc., etc., etc. For me, this has got to be a done deal. It has to be a done deal. Justin Kluivert, although he's not the finished article, he's a decent footballer. He can score goals. He's very good dribbling. He can track back. He can work hard. For me, I think that's a deal. That's a good deal. Yes, Mkhitaryan is worth less than Patrick Kluivert. If only we were getting Patrick Kluivert, Justin Kluivert. But for me, this has to happen. And I've said this so many times before as well. Like, we've got Saka, we've got Martinelli. Great, they can play left wing. I still think we need a left winger. Yeah, Saka for me has to be the starting option at left wing. Then you go with Tierney at left back. Get rid of Kolasinac. Get 10 million quid for him if we can. Get him off the books. Your backup left back is then Bukayo Saka. Your backup left winger is Justin Kluivert. Then you can move Martinelli to a number 10 role. You could play him on the right. You could play him up front. I think he'd be sick at number 10. But I do see him as more of a striker than a winger, even though he's been absolutely superb and done most of his good work at the left side. But for me, get rid of Kolasinac, get rid of Mickey, bring in Kluivert, and all of a sudden, that side of our team, that side, that left-hand side, the balance of it is automatically better than what we've got. It means we've got rid of Mkhitaryan as well. It means we can free up Martinelli to play up front. If we do happen to get rid of Aubameyang because he isn't signing the contract, then you go and swap him or you go and do a deal somewhere else. We're linked with Moussa Dembele from Lyon today. I'll take him in a heartbeat. Yesterday, we're apparently red-hot favourites for Edouard at Celtic. I'll take him in a heartbeat. You could potentially get rid of Lacazette and go and get Thomas Partey. And then your strikers would be Dembele or Edouard and Martinelli. Yes, I don't think that's the most experienced set of centre forwards, but they're willing to learn. They're young enough. They're going to kick on. They're only going to get better. You've then replaced Mkhitaryan with a left-sided player, which can cover down that left side for Saka. Saka covers for Tierney. You get rid of Kolasinac. That money then goes on another midfielder. You've bought Thomas Partey or swapped him for Lacazette. Stay with me if you're keeping up. And all of a sudden, our team is a lot better. You then, with the Kolasinac money, perhaps, then go and get a little backup replacement in midfield. So, for me, there's like a domino effect that can happen over the next couple of weeks and months over the transfer window. But if you're asking me right now, Mkhitaryan, sign him up to a new contract for 1 year extra, which puts him on to 2 years, swap him for Justin Kluivert, and then both clubs have an obligation to buy, although our obligation is a little bit higher than their obligation in terms of transfer fee. That's a no-brainer. What are Arsenal waiting for? Get it done. Mino Raiola might be the super agent after all. Absolute genius. So for me, we have to get that deal done as soon as possible. I like the idea of it. Yes, Justin Kluivert's not in any stretch of the imagination a world-class elite baller. But for me, he's got more of a chance to become that than fucking Mkhitaryan. So there we go. Anyway, drive the likes up. Mickey's useless. It's Friday. We got the Stella Artois. We're doing a watch along for Freiburg shortly. Download HOTMIC. It's free. Do it right now. And I'm going to read some of your comments out for 5 to 10 minutes. And then I'm going to go and enjoy a couple of hours of chill before the watch along, which would be nice. Jimbo's not having it with Vardy. Jesus Christ, what's going on? What's going on in the chat? Vardy's not washed up, bruv. Man's top scorer in the league. I'd take Vardy right now. Georgie's on the wind up. How's your OnlyFans, bruv? How are you getting on with that? How are you getting on with that? Omar says, get it done. Exactly. Get it done. Get it done. Soon as Mickey's gone, if we can get Kluivert in, oh my God, I'll be over the moon. He's young enough to adapt. He's young enough to kick on, and he's got a better future at this football club than Mkhitaryan's ever had. Here we go. Here's a good question from Isaac Wambenza. How on earth do Arsenal fans think they will make top 4 when Arteta hasn't won an away game? I think we have won an away game. I may be wrong. He might not have. You might be right, my friend. The reason Arsenal fans think they can get top 4, mate, is because there's people that sit on social media with big accounts that spout absolute crap and play the game. They ride the wave that way. They then turn themselves around and ride it all the way back and jump on the wave of fake positivity to play up to the masses. We're not beating City. We've got Leicester, Wolves, Liverpool and Spurs. We ain't getting top 4. People don't like me saying it. Tough. Go and ride the wave with someone else. We ain't getting top 4. Grant McRoberts says, why not terminate Mickey's contract? If we did that, then we'd still have to, well, yeah, we could terminate it and we'd save 10 million quid. But I don't know. Maybe it's the best deal because then you'd probably have to pay his contract. I don't know how it works, mate. I genuinely don't. It'd have to be a mutual agreement. But then if we wanted Justin Kluivert in return, you'd have to do something on that end as well, I suppose. But I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. There we go. I was getting scared for a moment. You could say that's a clickbait title. but I didn't have enough didn't have enough space to put in all of what I wanted to put in, unfortunately. Otherwise, so yeah, I suppose in a way I have potentially clickbaited. I'm not saying I tend to do often, but there we go. Big up the Budweisers in the fridge, ready to rock and roll. Come on, we got the Stella, the Yuri Geller, the Nelson Mandela. Yeah, man, we're good to go for the watch along later. That's a lie. You're lying. That's fake news. That's fake news. We have a grafter, Kieran Tierney, bruv. Kieran Tierney. Big up, Joanne. How you doing, darling? Hope you and your hubby are good. Hope you're good. Do you think Arsenal players are ready to play? Well, I hope they are, because if they ain't, then we're gonna finish about 14th, aren't we? So yeah, I hope so. I was getting scared as well. Thought Mickey was coming home. Yeah, so I do apologise if it is slightly clickbait. It's not something I do often, so I just didn't have enough characters to get all of what I wanted to put in there. I probably should have done Mickey's swap deal for Clivert, but I don't know. I was rushing. I was pressed for time, so apologies. How does Arteta strike a balance out of our potent attack? We only scored more than once, 3 times. Man United, Chelsea and Newcastle. Attack has suffered. But don't worry, mate. We've kept more clean sheets than Emery did. Big up Unai Emery. Big up Unai Emery. I rated Unai Emery. He had to get sacked, but I do think he was all right. And I do think he's been made a massive scapegoat. And Arteta's gone in and got the pass and then got a knockout to Olympiacos. Arteta lost to Olympiacos, bruv. Wenger and Unai Emery could never. So there you go. It was actually a year ago today. We got pummeled in Baku. But I rate Emery for putting the superstar on the bench. I don't rate him for bringing him back. I rate him for giving Bukayo Saka his debut and playing him constantly. I rate him for playing Guendouzi because I rate him. Something Arteta has dropped. I rate him for playing Maitland-Niles at right back. Again, something Arteta has dropped. I rate him for playing with 2 up front. Yeah, he played with both of them up front. So yeah, and I rate him for bringing in Kieran Tierney, mate. So yeah, man, I do apologise, Raid. I clickbaited you. Technically, it's not clickbait because we are going to renew his contract. So it's just like I said. I don't normally. I'd normally try and get my words out in the thumbnail or the title. There weren't enough characters to do it, so apologies if you do feel that way. Let me read some more. I've seen a lot of people, some people saying Arsenal have a good chance of top 4 because Tierney is now back from injury. Are these people forgetting the example? City has Sane, Laporte, De Bruyne back. Well, that's going to be the excuse now. If we had played Man City when we should have, they wouldn't have had De Bruyne and we would have won. But then the next excuse is because of the coronavirus, you've got to give Mikel Arteta another 15 years to turn it around. Like, really, the excuses that are going to be made for this guy are going to be epic, bruv. And remember where you heard it first. I wanted Emery to go. He didn't play Laka and Abba together. Kept Abba on the wing. We had a vote to decide on who was captain. He did actually play both of them up front together, but not often. But I do rate him for when he did do it. But he got a better tune out of Lacazette last season than he did, and Emery and Freddie, and Arteta have got this season. I don't know why that is. I couldn't answer that, but he did need to go. Let's be real. Everyone is saying that Arsenal are going to bet. Everyone's saying that Arsenal are going to get better after coming up. But I think we don't have a player we've missed like other clubs. City missed De Bruyne, Spurs missed Kane and Son. Big point. Very good point, mate. Very good point. Yeah, don't worry. For anyone who's joined late, I do apologise if it's a clickbaity title. We're going to renew Mickey's contract, apparently. Mino Raiola is going to try and get that done. We're then going to swap him with Justin Kluivert at Roma. And both of us are have an obligation to buy the player at the end of it. If we didn't renew Mickey's contract and loaned him to Roma, then he'd go for free at the end of the season, next season. So, I don't know. Let me do 3 more comments. So I'm going to get myself out of here. We're sitting outside listening to you. Thank you. Appreciate that. So there we go. Just round that up. Big up, Kerry. How you doing, babe? Vardy is better than Laka. Bruv, do the bear shit in the woods. Of course he's better than Laka. Right, I'm doing 2 more and I'm going. Is Mkhitaryan still alive? Apparently so, bruv. Apparently so. We don't need Cliver. I'm going to end it on that. I disagree. I think we do. I think that means Martinelli can go up front, get rid of Laka, get rid of Aber if we have to. Then we've got Saka, and then we've got Cliver. I personally think that would be a good thing. Go and replace Aubameyang if he wants to leave. We've then got Martinelli as a striker. So there we go. Listen, I'm going to wrap this up. I will be back for a watch along. Download HOTMIC. It's free on Android. It's free on iPhone. Download it. It's free. My link is scrolling across the bottom. It's in the description. I'll be doing a watch along for the Freiburg versus Leverkusen game. I'll be starting that at 7:15. Big up my sister in the chat. How you doing? You good, yeah? How's the kids? But yeah, I'm going to get myself out of here. So I'm going to leave you in peace. Laters, peeps.